problem says, find all times during which the two particles travel in opposite directions. Well, this right here we just did is for particle r. So I'm going to write r there. Particle P has a different equation. Particle P's position function is 2 cosine pi over 4t. So if I want to find out when they're moving in opposite directions, I clearly need to find out what direction particle P is moving in at different times. And to do that, just like I had to do with particle R, I have to take the derivative. So let's take the derivative here. I'm going to go the derivative with respect to t of 2 cosine pi over 4t. Well, I'm going to pull my 2 through the derivative. So I'm trying to find the derivative with respect to t. I'll put the 2 over here of cosine pi over 4t. Well, the derivative of cosine is negative sine, and that would be pi over 4t. That's the derivative of the outside, and I have to multiply that times the derivative of the inside, which is simply pi over 4. So what I have, if this is the derivative of this right here, and I pull my 2 through, so it's 2 times that. Well, 2 times pi over 4 is pi over 2. And I have the negative sign here, so I'm going to go negative sine pi over 4t, and that is p prime of t. So in order to find out which direction it's going in, I have to find out, well, where does it stop and start? Where does this equal 0? Well, Well, negative pi over 2 never equals 0. Now multiplying that times sine pi over 4t, I know that sine of some theta equals 0 at 0 and pi. It also equals 0 at 2 pi, but remember, we're only looking for the interval 0 to 6. And 2 pi is greater than 6. So these are the only 2 places, 0 and pi, when sine is going to be equal to when sine would be equal to 0. But this is pi over 4. So what is going to make pi over 4t equal to either 0 or pi over 4t equal to pi? Because those are the 2 numbers that we're interested in. Well, I can see very clearly that if t equals 0, that's one place, and if t equals 4, that's another place where this whole p prime of t is going to equal 0, where the particle will be stopped. So I'm going to make my number line again. Here's my number line. And my number line goes from 0 to 6. And really, for particle P, the only place where it's going to be 0 is going to be here at 4. At 0, it's going to be 0, but I don't really care about that because it's not moving. If it's not moving, it's not in the opposite direction of R, which is the thing that I'm looking for. So I'm going to test 1, and I'm going to test 5. When I test, well, first, again, this is negative pi over 2 over here. If I test 1, this would be sine pi over 4. If t equals 1, it'd be pi over 4. And sine pi over 4 is radical 2 over 2. So this is a positive, and this is a negative. So in this interval here from 0 to 4, it's going negative. And then if I test 5, then this is going to be 5 pi over 4. I'm thinking about my unit circle here. Here's my unit circle. Here's pi, which is 3 pi over, which is 3 pi, I'm sorry, which is 4 pi over 4. So 5 pi over 4 is going to be down here, and since the sign is my y value, here it's going to be negative. So I would have a negative times a negative, which is a positive. So in this interval here, it's going to be positive. Well, now let's compare this to what we had for r. Well, for p, I'm going to write here p. Here's p. From 0 to 4, it's negative. But for r, from 0 to 1, it's positive. So clearly, from 0 to 1, they are going in the opposite direction. Now, for r, from 1 to 3, it's going negative. And for p, from 1 to 4, it's going negative. So from 1 to 3, they're going in the same direction. But from 3 to 6, r is going positive. But at least until 4, p is still going negative. So they're going in opposite directions, again, from 3 to 4. After 4, they're both going positive. So these are the places where they're going in opposite directions. And again, I think if you had the number line here, they do not give you points for the number line. They do not give you points. They call these a sign chart. But you would write on the AP exam, you'd write from 0 to 1, p is going negative and r is going positive. And from 3 to 4, p is going negative and r is going positive. So they're going in opposite directions during those time intervals. You just kind of got to write it out.